Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ila Paramida. I am from 6th semester at University of Muslim Nusantara Australia. Today, I want to presentation my thesis proposal. The title is Using the Quiz Game to Improve Student Understanding Listening Skill of 10th grade at Mas Australia Tebing Tinggi. In my PPT, there are the capture 1 introduction, then background of study, the conventional teaching technique at Mas Australia Tebing Tinggi, then use the quiz game in teaching listening. At Mas Australia, there is problem faced by the student. The problem is conventional teaching technique. As usual, the student only sit down and listening carefully to the teacher, then answering question. The student wants something enjoyable and interactive in learning. Later, they will like the learning process of listening, and then their listening skill can improve. Game at school sometimes only used as ice-breaking or to kill time and views as an activity which make the student enjoy without getting the education inside it. After that, this research focused on the use of guessing game in teaching listening. Identification of problem. There are 3 identification of the problem. Number 1, the teacher has to try quiz game in teaching listening. Number 2, the students are not interested in learning listening. Number 3, the student wants something enjoyable and attractive in learning listening. Limitation of the research. The use of quizzing game as a strategy to improve students' listening skill. The subject of the research is the 10th grade student of Mas Australia Tebing Tinggi from 10 IPS class. The problem of the research. Number 1, how is the implementation of quiz game in teaching listening skill at 10th grade of senior high school? And then number 2, what are student response toward this use of quiz game in teaching student listening skill? Objective of the research. The purpose of the study were to improve the student listening skill through quiz game and to know the student response toward the use of quiz game in the classroom. And then significance of the research. The benefit of the research to know the student response toward the use of quiz game in teaching student listening skill. The implication of this research gives direction and alternative of implementation of the quiz game for English classroom future. And then hypothesis. Number 1, using quiz game can improve student listening skill. Number 2, using quiz game get the positive response from the student in the classroom. And then next slide is chapter 2, theoretical framework. In this chapter, I want to explain about game and listening skill. According to Unworth, 1985, defines listening as the activity of paying attention and try to grasp the meaning of something we heard. It is clear then that listening is the activity while we catch the meaning of the text from the audio. Thus, we can obtain the explanation of the text. And then teaching listening. In teaching language, must balance within teaching the foreign language skill in order to be able to use the language and develop the language acquisition. Because between one skill to other skill has relation that cannot be spread with listening as a foundation for developing other skill. There are three stages in teaching listening. Number one, pre-listening teacher inform learner what they are going to listen before starting listening and ask them to only focus on the information they need. Number two, while listening, the teacher try to play the audio on for whole comprehend, then replay it for specific detail, and then he said to repeat the audio in the hard part of listening. Number three, post listening, the teacher tell learner to write a resume of the main points, then compare it with their friend and check if they have all the main points. And then I will explain about games. According to Andre White, David Betts, and Michelle Buckby, game means an activity which is entertaining, engaging, often challenging, and an activity in which the learners play and usually interact with others. And what is guessing game? Guessing game is a game with main permainan tebak-tebakan in bahasa. Almost every person know and has tried this attract game with one person they know the information and deliberately withhold it, then others should find the answer based on the clue. These are explanation about the definition of the guessing game from the linguistic. Type of guessing game. Number one is guess what I am, or guess who am I. Able to teach about animals, profession, or people at all level of age. Number two, guess what I am doing. Teaches the concept relating to activities such as going to visiting and other. Number three, guess what I have. With the student give oral clue for the object is being explained, or others able to ask questions about the object. And conceptual framework. Invaluable so that the student and the teacher need an effort teaching technique to improve the student active in listening. Therefore, I use interactive games to improve the teaching learning quality, especially in listening skill. There are several reasons why interactive games were used to improve the student listening skill. Firstly, interactive games made the student feel happy because the 10th grade students of senior high school are transition period, so they will still love to play game. And lastly, by using this technique, the student can study English and play game in the same time. The last capture design of the result. In the planning stage, I plan the model of instruction, lesson plan, facilities need outside the classroom, observation set, and criterion of success. In implementing, I applied the strategy. The collaborator collect the data in the process of teaching and learning. Inflecting the I decide where the child will stop, or I reset the continue the plan to the next slide. Population and sample. The population in the study were 10 of Mas Awaslia Tebing Tinggi student in class 10 is the different class number is 40 people. So the total student population of Mas Awaslia Tebing Tinggi 10 is 400 students. The sample use the research subject is 10 people by appointing a sample with a defined purpose or purpose sampling. Certainly criteria in accordance with the criteria of students who have problems to learn English so that they can impress a substance sample for research. The instrument of collecting data. I gave listening tests with defined into pre-test and post-test. The first was pre-test, or the test which is done before treatment to know the student's score. And the second was post-test, or the evaluation test after teaching through quiz game to know the student progress. In the research, I use both qualitative data or observation and interview, and then quantitative data or test in collecting the data. And the last technique of analyzing data. Through analyzing the data, I refer to the state of the data analysis that are suggested by Byrne 1999. Number one, assembling the data. Number two, coding the data. Number three, comparing the data. Number four, building interpretation. And the last, reporting the outcome. I think that's enough, and thank you for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.